What up, guys? We're back. Today I have to go in the backyard. I got some parts on the old cab I want to get off. Dolly is apparently excited. So I'm going to go salvage some old parts off of that old cab. Things I want, I think, are the column, and I also want to get the dome light and the wiring to go with it. This cab here did not have a provision for a dome light, so I'm gonna have to at some point add that. But I want a dome light. I know I want a dome light for sure. So let me get some tools. I'm gonna go back here to this cab in the backyard. We're gonna start salvaging some parts. I'm gonna round up some tools to bring back there. All right, so I guess the first thing I'm going to try and get this dome light housing out of here. I see the wiring still here. That's a plus. All right, let's see if we'll get lucky and these things don't just strip off the head. Woohoo! It's a miracle. I'm gonna save these screws. Let's see if I can get this wiring undone over here. Can't see it. Dolly, back it up. All right, let's see if we can get these out. There we go. Awesome. Just saved myself some money in the future. We'll save all this. Looks like I'll have to get a lens. Maybe a few other parts. Let me get the rest of the wiring from over here too, because we're gonna need it. So, I don't need all this extra wiring. I mainly just wanted this harness, this part of it. So we're gonna cut it there and call it good. And honestly, this is good. Oh, this is funny. I cut it up there, but it was already cut anyway, further back here, but that's all right. I got this part of the harness, which is what I wanted. The pigtail. Cut that a little bit extra off. Boom, baby. We got a dome light. Okay, now I need to figure out how to get this column out, and I also need to get this clutch pedal assembly. So let me check it out. That might help us here in a little while. I'm not sure if this has to come off or not, but if it does, we'll be in better shape. What'd you find, Dolly? Anything good? Looks like these two bolts, and probably cut a bunch of wiring out the way. I did put a new ignition switch in here when it was still running. Maybe able to salvage that as well. That might be it for in here. It's almost like this is metric. Maybe it is. Crazy. Let me go get a metric wrench. 15 it is. Okay. Well. I wonder if that's loose enough. Something solid's hitting. Nice. This is when me and Becky first started working on the truck. Alright, so it definitely looks like it's attached to the booster, this whole bracket, so let me save this sensor on here too while I'm at it. Before I go out there, it looks like if I take this bar off of the clutch pedal, it attaches to this spring assembly that goes up in there. Maybe easier just to go ahead and get this off and out the way. Nice. I think we got most of our clutch pedal parts out. Oh man, this is gonna take a minute. That's got to come off. All right. Put this pin back so we don't lose none of that. We might be free now. Nice. Clutch and brake pedal assembly. Alright, that went better than planned. Now, I need to clean all this up so that we can use it. So I've got that concoction for electrolysis. I'll have to make a new batch, and we'll let all this stuff sit in there tonight. Kind of let it eat some of this rust off. Get these pedal pads off first. I think that clutch was used a little bit. That sucker's worn smooth through to the metal. Alright, I think that's all our parts for clutch and brake pedal assembly. Alright guys, y'all saw me cleaning it out. To me, this is one of those must-have deals when you're restoring something old and rusty. And all it is water and baking soda. And you just get you an old charger, link all your parts together on a piece of wire, and let it eat. This is gonna take too long with that. Looks pretty good. So we'll just get all this mixed in good. I saved the brake light switch, and I took the pedals out of the bracket so that everything will fit in there. First thing I like to do is hose everything off, so let me do that real quick. Next step is getting everything in here, and you gotta have a conductor wire touching everything that you want the rust to come off of. So we got our bracket in there. We'll get us a pedal in here, spring. Sometimes it gets a little snug. Might have to do some finagling to make it all fit. Then I just take my battery charger leads. You want positive going to all your rebar that's tied together, and you want negative to the parts you want rust coming off of. And that's it. We just let it sit, typically overnight. And there we go. You can see it bubbling up. Tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, that'll be mostly rust-free parts in there. The bucket, the water will be nasty. It's already getting pretty foggy. So it'll just sit here and eat the rust off, and then tomorrow we'll clean it all up and prime it and paint it. Next thing I'm gonna do is see if I can save this column. And by save it, I mean I'm just gonna take the wheel off, take some parts off, clean it up, put some fresh paint, and call it good, because the column's actually in pretty decent shape. So let me get after it. This almost seems metric too. It is metric. I'd like to know what year they started using some metric stuff here and there. Be interesting to know. Well, the hazard switch is working. I think I'll just order some new ones of these. They're rusty, nasty. I don't think they cost that much either. Let me tape up this, well hell, I'll just clean it real quick while all this is off. I wanted to keep this column mainly because it's a tilt. And I like a tilt column. I got that old beer belly, so it's nice when you can tilt that column out the way. Might get the wire wheel on it down here. Well, as per usual with this project, got some rust on the outer sleeve of this column. It's all the way through. I do have another column, but it's off of a newer style truck, and I don't know if that sleeve is the same. We may have to do a little side-by-side comparing. They appear pretty dang similar to me. There's not a ton of difference, at least on this outer pipe. So I wonder if I can take it apart and get this lower pipe off and put it on, take it off of this one, which is pretty rust free, and put it on this one. I have never in my life torn apart a steering column, so I guess here goes nothing. Alright guys, I did some research. So since the other column that I have, not the one that was in the truck, is a non-tilt, and the column that I have is a tilt, and I want to keep tilt, I'm not going to be able to just interchange my parts over to this other column. So I guess, in my mind, what I'm thinking is I'll just do some rust repair basically down there. I mean, that's all that's wrong with the column. The bearings are fine, the U-joint's fine, it tilts good, it's tight. So I'm thinking just do a little rust repair down there with the welding machine, nice and easy, clean it up, it'll be good. Alright guys, it's gonna need some more weld, but it's gonna work. A little more weld, a little more cleaning up. Of course, the dang power went out. It's kind of windy today. I guess a limb got knocked down somewhere, and well, that kind of makes my welding machine not work when I don't have electricity. And I don't want to get a generator out just for this, but I do need to go run some errands, so I guess I'll do that. Hopefully this column deal seems like it's going to be fine. I don't see why it wouldn't be. As long as I clean it up real good, we'll get some paint on it. Hopefully by the time I get back from running errands, they'll have power kicked back on and I can get back to welding on this, finish welding it, clean it up, and we'll get some paint on it. So I'll see you on a little bit. And on the third day, he said, "Let there be light." We are back. Power just came back on too, perfect timing. Let me get back to working on this column. Take this ignition up. We ought to be good to go. I think I'm gonna put some primer on this part. The rest I'll just paint. Figured while our column rebuild was drying, I'd come salvage these drip rails, because they seem like they're in pretty darn good shape. Wonder if these trucks had to have these because they would leak water, or if they were just cool looking. They are pretty neat looking. I like them. They got a little bit of pitting on the top up here, but I might be able to take care of it. Nice. All right, 2 drip rails saved. Think they line up the same? Sure enough, dead on the money. Oh yeah. I'll have to hit those with some steel wool, clean them up a little bit. I think I'm gonna get this fuel tank next and clean it up. Maybe we'll put some fresh paint on it if it's okay. I'm sure it won't be. Nothing ever seems to be, but we're gonna try anyway. Y'all remember how I said the tank's probably not gonna be okay? That is a hole. Other than that, it's a decent looking tank, I guess. Maybe we'll just start fresh. Just to clarify that is a hole. Yep. That is a hole. Dang it. Well, the good news is I think these tanks are pretty affordable. So I guess I'm gonna have to look into that. Well, I guess while we're waiting on our column to dry, I'll clean these plates up for the front axle. What up, y'all? We're back. So today I think I'm going to work on reassembling the axles, just kind of temporary since I need to do the ring and pinion. But if I just go ahead and reassemble them now, I can get suspension for the chassis, we can get some weight put back on this thing and have a rolling chassis. So I think I'll just temporarily do the axles for now. All right, I got to do ball joints first. So I need to put some new ball joints. I got them in the shop. So let's get to work. First thing I'm gonna do is cut these studs off of this driver's side arm because I don't need them anymore. I'm doing the crossover steering conversion. Let me go get some Loctite so we can install these studs and then I'll get back and put our high steer arm on. We'll get all this stuff painted. You know, I gotta have everything matching nice and clean. Alright, I'm back. Got the goodies. So let me turn the camera down for y'all. Sorry if y'all can't hear me. It is windy as all get out. We're under like a tornado watch or something. Ain't gonna stop us though. Ooh, that was a good catch. Like a cat. I think I'm gonna put this in the vise and torque all these down. That'll probably work. This might take a minute. Put y'all in fast forward mode. Alright, got all my studs in. Slide our arm on. Got to put these conical wedges in there. Got a snug one. Alright. I ought to put some Loctite on these too. These are locking nuts, but let me go grab that Loctite. Little dab will do ya. I would use a socket, but the only way I could use that socket on the other one, they got like these little notches that stick off the edge of the nut. I had to grind them down on that one that I was going to be using for backing on and off the for the studs. I had to grind it off so I could put a socket on it. Oh yeah, baby. That's nice. Pretty nice. Nice clean finish at the top. Y'all know I gotta have everything nice and clean. Especially putting it back together. Want it to look good. I'm gonna wipe this baby down and we're gonna put some primer and some paint.
Alright, while our knuckles are drying, I got this rear axle set up here. We'll put the backing plates back on. Like I said, all this is just temporary. I mean, the backing plates don't have to come back off, but I'm gonna just put some stuff together to where I can put wheels and tires back on this thing, set the axles back on the ground, and then move that chassis back under here and get our suspension rolling. So let me get going. Sorry about the video quality yesterday. It was terrible. I must have had some grease on the lens, but I got it all cleaned up. Anyway, Bub came by yesterday whenever he got off work. You can see it at the end of yesterday's filming, and me and him knocked out this brake drum setup on this side. I've got to do this side this morning. And I've got to try and locate an adjuster bar. I only have one. One was missing from when I took everything apart. So undoubtedly the previous owners had lost it at some point. I say an adjuster bar. It's not really an adjuster bar. I'm not exactly sure what the name of it is. I'm going to find out in a little bit when I start trying to find one. But it's for the emergency brake lever. So I'm going to see if I can find one of those real quick, and then I'm going to put this other side together with the brakes, and then we'll move on to the front axle, start assembling it. Alright, we got that one knocked out. Called O'Reilly's. They don't have the part in stock, but they'll have it later on today. So that's as far as I can go with this side. Over here, I guess I'll go ahead and slide the axle shaft in, put the drum on. I had to get one replacement drum. This drum's in good shape. It's like they had, but previously, before I got the truck, they must have replaced one drum and not the other. So they also got me a drum coming to O'Reilly, so we'll have a drum and that other part for the other side. So let me get the axle shaft, slide it in here, put the C-clip on it. We'll slide the rotor on, the the drum on, and this side will be complete. We'll just be waiting on later today for the other stuff. don't know if I've ever done the ball joints on a Dana 44, but you have to do what's called preloading them. And they have this sleeve inside of the upper knuckle. I had to learn about this myself. I've worked on a lot of solid axle stuff, but I've apparently never done a 44 with this preload setup. So they make a special tool. I ordered it, but it won't be here till tomorrow, and I don't have patience. But I've got an old 3/4 socket, and what you got to do is it's got to have notches that go down and grab that, and that's so you can, this is threaded, and so it allows you to thread in and out. So we're fixing to make a tool. This is not the first time I've made a tool. I am the king of making a tool instead of buying it, but I got one coming in tomorrow, but it's gonna be a day late, and I just don't feel like waiting. I'm not having a lot of patience, so let me get to work making this tool. Alright, just like that, we got us a tool. Now I gotta see if I can get these old ones out. Probably gonna get a little PB blaster to help. Just like that. You don't always have to buy the fancy tool. Although I did. It's just not here. So we took 5 minutes and made a tool. All that was an extra 3/4 socket I had. Lower ball joint is the first thing you tighten. The torque spec 70 or 75 is what I usually do, but this is gonna have to work because I don't have a short 1 1/8 socket. So we'll go off a feel. Feels good to me. Next thing is you got to run this sleeve down and torque it to 40 foot-pounds. Might be a little too snug on the bottom. Let me grab something before I do this top. So what you want to find out, you want to make this not take more than about 25 foot-pounds to turn. So what you can do is get like a fish scale and pull on it and make sure it's not taking more than that. It's pretty good. Right there at 25. Yeah, I like that. It's got a steady pull at 22 pounds. Save this for the other side. So now we should be safe to run our top nut down and snug it. Upper is 100 foot-pounds. then you test it again. Yeah, see, it got a little tighter, so I got to make some adjustments. It's taking about 35 to move it. So what we can do, I don't think our bottom's too tight. That feels about right to me. But what we can do is loosen this top back. And we can back our adjusting that adjustment nut back down a little. Alright, that's 35. See how hard this is. It's taking about 22, 23. May just have to do 30 on this top nut. Let's try 30. All right, that's 30, and that feels a lot better. It's getting hard again already. All right, guys, I finally ended up getting it. I had to torque the that adjuster sleeve. I torqued it actually higher than 40. I got it to 45. Then I was able to torque this to 85, a little over 85, after I lined up the cotter pin, and worked out good. Now we're pulling right at 25 pounds both directions, so this side is good. This side seemed to go way smoother, the driver's side. Oh yeah. Well, that's kilograms. Hold up. Yeah, much better. 14, 15. That other side's tight. I don't know. I know this side I bought Moog ball joints for. That side came with ball joints and they weren't Moog. I'm not sure what they were, but you know how it is. Moog's better product, so it makes sense that this side would be better. Anyway. Alright, now I need to get hubs on. I'm not worried about putting the axle shafts in. It'll work without the axle shafts. Again, it's just temporary, so let me work on getting these hubs put together and slid back on here. Remember our parts from the other day, all our clutch parts, they ought to be ready now. Oh, that turned out really nice. Just need to let it dry and then we can prime and paint it all and reassemble it. The only thing the rust didn't come off of good was this rod. It'll be all right though. We strive for perfection and settle for whatever works. So it's good enough. This thing came out nice. Again, prime paint after we let it all dry. We made our O'Reilly's trip, got our goodies. We'll go put them on real quick, and that'll wrap up the rear end for now. Got all our parts primed earlier. Guys, if y'all made it this far in the video, thanks for sticking with it. This video kind of went all over the place. Didn't really have a ton of parts sitting around waiting for this video, so I just kind of had to go with it. But there's still plenty to do. It's just, it kind of bounces all over. Whew. Wind blew in my face. It kind of bounces all over. But if you're enjoying it, definitely like and subscribe. Thinking on the next episode, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking we might, depends on how long it's going to take to come in, all my suspension parts, but it'll be a pretty large order. I'm going to order everything from Off-Road Design. They do a lot of Chevy square body, just Chevy in general, suspension. So I'm going to use them for lift springs for the front, and I'm going to get some factory rear springs, and we'll maybe we can get us a maybe we can get us a rolling chassis again. Dang, wind is kicking. Well, y'all, I think that's gonna do it for this video. We'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks for watching.